Hello again, GLL here. Another video. I'm going to talk about sprint in the Halo games. It's been a big debate going around whether sprint killed Halo, sprint ruined Halo. Some people hate sprint, anything to do with sprint. Any game that has sprint in it, any Halo game that has sprint in it. And, the debate is always geared toward the fact that people are always running away from a fight, usually, and that apparently that is the main reason. But what I'd just like to say before we get into this is that although you can sprint away from people, okay, you can run away from people in any Halo game. Okay, you've both got sprint, whether you've both got sprint or you've both not got sprint. You can chase after people, you can run away from people. That's how Halo has always been. So the idea that sprint somehow killed Halo completely, I don't quite buy that. I mean, if you don't like sprint, fair enough, but there isn't really anything to say that sprint killed Halo completely and that sprint shouldn't be in Halo, because I don't think that's that's the case. I mean, if you don't like it, you don't want it to be there, that's one thing, but to say that it's actually ruined the game because it's unbalanced, because people are running away, I don't think that's a good excuse. If you don't think it should be in Halo because it wasn't in Halo originally, and you feel that it shouldn't be there, then that's a different argument. I'm talking about whether it has actually broken the gameplay. So, okay, what I've done is, I don't think this has ever been done before. What I've done is I've literally just recorded myself walking up and down on different levels. Now, obviously, the levels will be slightly different game to game, but the idea is just to get an idea of how fast the players actually move in each game. So, obviously, we've got Blood Gulch, we've got Valhalla that cross games, we've got Ivory Tower, which crosses a game. So, using their maps, we're going to see just how fast these characters move with and without sprint, and whether that sprint actually makes any difference to the overall game. Speed. Whether the game's moving at a faster speed than it used to be, or whether it's moving at the same speed, or whether the sprint has any impact whatsoever. So that's what we're going to be looking at in this video. Like I say, the argument always is that you're running away, but I don't follow that argument. So anyway, let's get into it. Right, so we're on Valhalla here, as you can see. What we're going to do is we're going to position ourselves in exactly the same spot each time, so that we know that it is definitely in the right area, and then we're going to move across the map and see just how fast he moves in each game. So there's the timer. Now, some of these are really surprising. I was thinking it was going to be a lot different to this, so it's a bit long-winded, but it will all come out in the wash in the end. You will get a satisfactory conclusion. I mean, it won't prove anything beyond doubt, because obviously, is that timer right because of the frames per second and all that sort of crap. If you want to get technical, I mean, I've got the timer on the screen where I can, so it copies. So we've got 34 seconds, right? 34 seconds with no sprint. That's on Halo 3. And we're just going to go back and just double check that is, reasonable time, sort of what you would normally get for walking from base to base. And obviously within a few seconds, because if you're moving around, slightly differently, or you're heading for the base in a slightly different direction, you're gonna, be slightly off. But, in general, we're looking about 34 seconds. Let's see what this gives us. Right, 33, 34 seconds. So, right, moving on to Halo 4. Same map, obviously modernised. So whether it's exactly the same size, who knows. So what we're going to do is we're going to do it with sprint first. So what I'm doing now is I'm position. I'm shooting so I know exactly where I started from, and I was find my way back. So, and if you're wondering where the gold skin is from, that's from the DLC pack, the final DLC pack, and they didn't bother putting that in the Master Chief Collection, so unlucky. So that's the max amount of sprints you can do along there. So what we've got there is 23 seconds. So 23 seconds as opposed to 33, 34 seconds on Halo 3 with sprint. So what we're going to see now is if it's the same, and then if it's the same, up and back, we're going to see what it says without sprint. So again, this is a long-winded video, so it's all the evidence is going to be there, so we can all see what's going on. So 23 seconds again, I got the same time more or less. So the sprint there is taking off about, let's see, 33, so about 10 seconds off. So you're about 10 seconds faster with the sprint than you are normally, as opposed. Well, that obviously was Halo 3. But we're going to see what time this gives us now, and we'll see if it's the same as Halo 3, if it's slower, faster, and this is with no sprint. So let's have a look. And 32 seconds. So according to that, in Halo 4 you move faster even before the sprint was added, so that's another 2 seconds, say. So it's about 12 seconds, you move about 12 seconds faster. Now bearing in mind, everybody can sprint in this game and it's not an armor ability, that ain't a great deal. And everybody can sprint, so I don't see as that being a massive problem. Now the argument is that the maps have to be made bigger because you're sprinting, so they make the maps bigger. 31 seconds there. So they're trying to make the maps bigger because you're running faster. But 10 seconds of and what I'm doing here is, I don't know what I'm doing here. What's going on? Fuck's sake. Right. Bollocks. I've balls up here, guys, so you're going to have to bear with me. I forgot this bit was still in there, so I'm not redoing all them fucking... Well, I'm not redoing all them stopwatches again, so this is going to have to stay in, so sorry about that. Yeah, so I'll balls up here, guys. Don't worry about this. Right, we'll get back to it. So, right, now there's another way of sprinting. People say if you sprint then melee attack, it stops the sprint and allows it to, continue. The problem with that is I don't think it works over a long distance. So it doesn't really work when I attempt it here. Either that or I don't have a fucking clue what I'm doing. I don't really use it myself. So this is just me attempting that, just in case anybody was wondering whether that makes any difference. 27 seconds there. So I'll do it back the other way now. We'll see if we get 27 seconds again. And if we do, then that's fine. Fucking... Why is the fucking stock on the fucking DMR made of wood? Whatever. I still think the graphics in this game are too fucking shiny. Too cartoony. Right. So, 26. So that gives you a rough idea. Okay, moving on. We've got Ivory Tower here, Halo 2. So this is obviously there's no sprint in Halo 2, so we're going to see how far it is, and obviously the level's slightly different size as well, so we'll see how quickly you can get across on Halo 2. Alright, so that's 8 seconds, 8 or 9 seconds, and on the way back we'll see again. And that is 8 seconds. Right. So now here's Halo Reach, and we'll do the same thing, and we'll just see if it's the same. Right, I think we do sprint first. Yep, here we go. Right, 7 seconds with sprint. Okay, so we've lost 1 second compared to Halo 2. Bearing in mind the map is probably a little bit bigger. So yeah, 7 seconds. So that hasn't changed a great deal. Again, bearing in mind the map size may have altered. So it's maybe 2 or 3 seconds. Alright, so obviously this is now going to be slower. So we've got 9 seconds. So it's probably about you're probably about 1 second to 1.5 seconds slower in Halo Reach than you are in Halo 2, if that is, accurate. Obviously that's, you'd have to do more and more tests, but looking at that, you're on about 9 seconds, 9.5 seconds. So, and here we've got Beaver Creek, same principle. This is Halo 1. And we're just going to see what happens. Are they going to be the same, or are they going to be different? So, you seem to move a lot faster on Halo 1, I do have to say. But when you look at these times, it doesn't really look like you are much faster. Maybe it's just the way the camera sways. So let's take a look. And we've got 17 seconds. And back again. Yeah, again, sorry guys, it's a long-winded video, but it's all to prove a point. It might solve something. It's more for my fucking benefit than anybody else's. I've always wanted to work this shit out. So there we go. 17 and a half, So we'll say 17. And Halo 2. So we're going to see what Halo 2 gives us. Don't even put that fucking rock right in the way, but there you go. Ten, 12. Alright, 18 seconds. So literally exactly the same as Halo 1. Which I think is surprising, because I always felt that Halo 1 was slightly faster. Now maybe that's just because certain other aspects of the game are faster, but with pure straight line speed goes, it's more or less exactly the same. So that's interesting. So yeah, 17, 18 seconds, more or less exactly the same. So, and now we're going to have Halo Reach, and obviously this map is a bit fucked up, so this won't be as accurate. We'll see what happens. This is with no sprint first, so we'll see what happens with this. So with no sprint, we've hit 17 seconds there, but obviously you've got the boulders stopping you getting in the corner, and also the level's slightly different, so you could say 19 seconds. And it was only about a second and a half behind Halo 2 anyway, so on the Ivory Tower. So you could say Halo Reach is you're probably about a second slower, I would say. Not a great deal, but just maybe that just a little bit. But obviously you've got the sprint, so obviously you're a lot faster with your sprint. Whereas with Halo 4, I don't think your sprint's as fast on Halo 4, but it's very difficult to work out either way, because there isn't really a level in Halo 4 and Halo Reach sort of thing that you could compare. I'm trying to think of one, but no, very difficult. So what we've got there, 13 seconds with sprint. So what's your sprint giving you there? It was 17, so so about 4 seconds faster with your sprint. Seems interesting. So we'll have to do 4 seconds faster. That doesn't seem that much. It is only a short distance, I suppose, so yeah, it's pretty quick. Thinking about it. With the boulders in the corner, it fucks everything up for going between Halo 1, 2 and 3. Sorry, Halo 1, 2 and Reach, because the boulders are in the corner, so you can't get right in the corner, so you're looking at another second and a half, maybe a couple of seconds end to end, so it's hard to say. So we've got 41 seconds on Blood Gulch on Halo 1, so we're going to see if that's the same back the other way. Yeah, like I say, I always thought Halo 1 was faster, but obviously not as much faster as I thought. Halo Reach seems to be a bit slower than Halo 1 and 2. Halo 1 and 2 seem to be more or less the same. Halo 4 and 3 seem to be a lot closer together than you would think as well. I think Halo 4 was actually slightly faster, and the sprint is probably slightly less than Halo Reach's sprint. So you end up being faster than Halo 3 overall because of the sprint, and because you're slightly faster anyway. So that's interesting. I would have thought you'd be faster in Halo 3 than you would be in Halo 4. What was that? 36. That's the same, wasn't it? So I would think you'd be faster in Halo. This is Halo 2 again, Blood Gulch. So yeah, I would have thought you'd have been faster in Halo 3 because you don't have the sprint, but you're actually faster in Halo 4, and then you got the sprint on top. So that maybe that is a little bit too fast. I don't know. Well, I think the sprint, you can't use the sprint as much in sort of Halo 4. It seems to take longer to come back. I don't know if it does. It'd be hard to figure that shit out as well than Halo Reach. What have we got here then? So on this level we've got 40 seconds, which I think was a few seconds slower than Halo 1. I think Halo 1 was about 36. I'll have to go back and watch it again. I wasn't paying attention because I was talking about the one before, which was quite interesting. So yeah, 40 seconds. So Halo 2 looking slower than Halo 1 there, but is the map slightly bigger? You know, it's hard to say, but you know, you're not miles out. You would think if one was a lot faster, it one would be miles from the other. So yeah, and again, 40 seconds ish. So on the last one now, it's oh no, it isn't. Tell a lie. There's two more. So we've got Halo Reach here, and Blood Gulch again. Obviously they've all got fucking different names, they're all slightly different, but it's Blood Gulch, alright. It's the same map, we know it is, so we're gonna see how fast he is. Is it with sprint or without sprint? Without sprint first, alright. See if he's faster than 40 seconds. You would expect him to be slower now, from what we've learned so far, so, and I haven't memorised all these before I started talking, so maybe he will be slower and prove me right. Maybe he'll be faster and just prove me completely wrong. So it's not looking good at the minute. But obviously you don't know how big the level is, so it's about the same, isn't it? Yeah, about 41. That's about the same as Halo 2. So whether the level's slightly different, so it's slightly close together or whatever. I mean, Ivory Tower seemed to be you're about 1 second slower on Halo Reach before sprint. That's what it seemed to be, but again, that level's slightly different, so it's not a great deal, guys, is what we found here. That the movement speed is not much different. The strafe could be different. The aim, obviously, is sensitivity. That's the same. The strafe could be slower. I mean, you jump less on Halo Reach, but in terms of straight line speed, it looks more or less the same. So that's interesting. What have we got here? And 42. So that's about 1 second. 1 second, 2 seconds. Yeah, that's slightly slower again. So maybe that's right then. Maybe Halo Reach is just slightly slower than Halo 2. Why they would do that, I don't know, but there you go. This is with sprint now. I think this is going to be about 30 seconds, isn't it? Let's find out. I think your sprint comes back faster on Halo Reach. Maybe a couple of seconds faster than Halo 4. And bang, 32, 33 seconds. I did pause slightly there at the end, so 33 seconds, let's say. That's 9 seconds, 11 seconds faster. Yeah. Hmm. 11 seconds fast. And in Halo. So the sprint is actually the same speed in Halo 4 and Reach. I don't think that's true. I think Halo Reach is a little bit faster. I think it lasts longer. It seems to last longer and it seems to charge faster in Halo Reach. So that's interesting. As I was saying, it was about 11 seconds faster on one of the levels. I confused myself now. Anyway, the point is that there you're 11 seconds faster with sprint on this level across there. So You can't really compare to Halo 4, you see, that's the problem. Right, this is Halo Anniversary, by the way. We're not doing Halo 2 again, this is Halo Anniversary. So we'll see what this gives us. Halo 2's 40 seconds, Halo Reach was 42 seconds. I think Halo 1 was 36 seconds. Oh, I think I might have got that wrong. I wasn't paying attention. I think it was about the same as Halo 2, to tell you the truth. And then Halo, I mean, if Halo 1 is 36 seconds, it's a lot faster. This is Halo Anniversary, and it is about 39 seconds, which would put it about a second or so faster than Halo 2. It's interesting. So I had to redo it there, I fucked up. So Halo Reach was 33 seconds with sprint, and it was 42 seconds without, I think. It was about 40 seconds on Halo 2, and it was about 30, it was 36, I don't know, I think it was 36, but that might have been a rogue reading, I wasn't paying attention. So Halo 1 might be slightly faster. And then this one, your final one, is it going to just duplicate what we've just seen? Is it going to be the same? Right, this is gone, and that was on 39, so that's closer to normal Halo 2, what we've seen there. So, right. So what we've learnt, guys, is that there's not a great deal in it. I mean, Halo Reach might be about a second slower. Your sprint seems to charge faster in Halo Reach, and you can use it more often. And you know, whether it's slightly faster, I don't know, but you can use it more often, so maybe that's why you feel like it's faster, sort of thing, because you're using it more and more and more. Whereas in Halo 4 you have to wait that extra couple of seconds before you get to use it again. So, and obviously on Halo 5 you got the daft charge and dashing all over the place now. So, right, so really what we've got is you know, not really proved anything, but it's given me a bit of an idea as to how much of a difference there really is in the speed. I mean, the games are very different, because if you notice, go back and watch the video, every single Halo game, the aimer is in a different place on the screen. Now, you don't notice that shit when you're playing, but you know, when you doing other things and you're just looking at stuff, you do realise that you know, Halo 1's was right in the centre, Halo 2's was more or less right at the bottom of the screen, okay, and then Halo 3's was higher up slightly, and then, you know, Halo 4's I think was nearly the same as Halo 3. Very strange stuff. So, you know, go back and check that shit out, and yeah, we'll leave your comments and your feedback. We'll see if we can work something out between us, because I've got more questions really. After all that nonsense, it doesn't really prove anything. All it proves is it's not much different, I would say. Not much different at all. If there is a difference, it's very slight, and the only thing that makes any difference is the sprint probably gives you about 10 seconds of speed. You're probably about 10 seconds faster while using sprint. So, when I say 10 seconds, obviously it's over a distance, so you know, the distances that I've shown, you know, not just 10 seconds all the time, but it gives you that boost of speed. But if everybody's got sprint, it don't make no difference, because as soon as I start sprinting, you're going to start sprinting immediately, unless I run around the corner and then sprint. But you're going to use it immediately, aren't you? Because you're trying to get away, or you're trying to catch up with somebody or whatever. And that's a good thing about sprint as well, that no one ever mentions. When you've got that guy that's just about, you know, a metre away from you, but you just can't catch him. Like, that happens so often on Halo 2. It used to happen all the fucking time, and Halo 3. You'd have a guy, you know, you're trying to catch up to him, and he's just he's walking at a faster pace than you, well, the same pace as you, but you just can't catch him because he doesn't know you're behind him and you can't get to him. So on Halo 2, you'd just say, because obviously the could hear down the mark on Halo 2, you'd say, "Oi, dickhead, turn around," and then he'd like, "What's going on?" Turn around, and then you'd see him, and then you'd probably throw a grenade to stick him, or whatever, or start shooting him as he's turning around, and then you catch up to him and punch him in the face. But that's the problem, you see. That's one that it really helps with sprint. So if you're just trying to catch up to somebody, you go. Obviously, it gives away your position because you can hear you breathing and stuff. So that's good as well. So if you can hear someone sprinting up behind you, so that's another thing that no one ever mentions. So that's a good feature of it. You can catch up to people who are just that little bit further away from you. You just need that little burst of speed, and it's also good for good for team SWAT, especially because you can hear people coming. So it's dead quiet, and you only get a shot every now and again. So you'll hear someone always coming up the stairs, dead. You know what I'm saying? Headshot, double tap. Yeah. So speak to you later, guys. Have a good one.